Hello and welcome back to our weekly episodes of Love Connection. And I'm here, Irina Portnova, with my guest and co-host, Coach Elle. And we continue having the conversations, as we call them, the chats, just fun and exciting and light about love and relationship and how to actually manage that field and how to be the pro in it. And today we are going to be talking about balancing ego and soul. Elle, when I say balancing ego and soul, what comes to your mind?
It's interesting. The question is looking at how our younger self and the adult self are interacting with the partner or people outside of us. So that's how the ego is, that space, that it's that younger self, that we have all those interactions that maybe not pleasant from the past. And the soul, which is our heart, a lot of people have put some, including myself many years ago, we put some walls around it so our heart and our soul won't show or interact directly with other people. So that's what comes
Mhm.
up for me. I
Mm,
hope it was
that's
clear.
awesome for sharing. Thanks for sharing. So when I talk about ego and soul, right? Ego it's just like our physical body. It's our identity. It's, like how we think, how we act, how we see ourselves and the other person to be in the relationship what we want, right? And a lot of times our ego comes and speak to us not the same way as our soul would, right? For instance,
Exactly.
we are in love with the person, and then sometimes we do not know how to really hold our emotions properly. Actually, not to hold, but how to navigate our emotions, right? And I'm talking about, like when the argument starts, right? Sometimes people can really hurt each other, and they're not doing it because they hate each other, that they're not loving each other. It's just because the ego self is just, like getting so up there that they actually forget who they are at the essence. So
Exactly.
it's very important to bring these, like to recognize, first of all, right? To be more conscious about, do I act the way that I need to be acting with my partner, right? Somebody who I care for, somebody who is near and dear to me. Am I doing something? Are my words hurting? Are my actions hurtful? Uh, are the way, like people sometimes even go to the point of calling each other names, right? So the idea is it's all our, like ego. When that ego is not controlled well enough, so our soul is suffering, right? Because when people in these kind of situations, it could just get out of the control, and sometimes the relationship gets broken just because one of the partner, both of the partners had such a high ego, right? So they could be the stubborn or too prideful, or just, like don't want to listen to another person's opinion, right? And that's where the communication is the key.
Yeah. So, and it's all because of not being conscious at the moment. Because
Mm-hmm.
when the other person says something that bothers us, let's question ourselves. Is it what he's asking or what is she asking me that is kind of not, it's negative for me? Or is it bring me something from the past that comes to me here now? And that's why I'm answering to that from that space, from that past relationship. So it's best to, when somebody's in that space of negative, or you know that what they're asking you, where they're going, give yourself a few minutes and see how you can communicate in a different way, not just like shouting, or just being straight back. Just calm, in that calm space of from your heart. See where that comes from. Your answer should be from that heart part, not from those past bad negative experiences. So give yourself a few minutes and then answer. Don't
Mhm.
just like answer right away because something that she said or he said had a negative impact on you. So yeah,
Absolutely.
it's nice to be conscious about it. Look into your heart and soul, as you say, not from that ego that has been hurt many times in the past.
And you know what, Al, what comes to me is like, like how many times when people say something hurtful to their partner, then maybe, like when they're alone, they kind of replay what happened, right? And then they feel regretful.
Guilty. Yeah, they feel
Right.
guilty. Why did I say
Yes, yes, because from their, like soul, they feel that, like there was no need to do that, and there was no reason to hurt the other person, right? But it just like in the moment when we don't really know how to control our ego, and if we do not know how to control our emotions, this is something that can really happen, right?
yes? And the key is to balance it and really, even if that happens, just be honest and talk about, this interaction brought me back to my past. And whenever this I go back to that old self in that space of negative, and that's why I said that. And let just, when you have a question for me or you want me to do something or anything, let's rephrase that the way that you ask me that question, because and then I would also be honest and communicative and open to listen with my true self, from my soul, next time when this issue or whatever comes up. You know,
Mm-hmm.
just telling that person that what you said to me or what you asked me took me back. That's what the reaction was, from that past experience, not from here. But let's communicate. Let's just be. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to say that in the past you have been hurt. Past memories that comes up when this incident similar to that happens again.
Mm-hmm.
So you can be alert and both of you can be conscious that, okay, maybe we should interact or communicate differently with this new person.
Hey, Hala, how are you? Great to see you. Yes, we love you too. You know what comes to me also, like you just mentioned, Al, so important to have the communication. So the first tool is to communicate, right? If the argument happened, like, right, you can't do anything anymore,
Yeah.
but just reflect. Take your time for yourself and just think about it. And take yourself to the third person as an observer. Do not take anybody's sides, but rather see yourself as the somebody who is just observing the scenes, right? And kind of replay in your mind that like what was going on, who says what was the reaction, right? And then sit down and reflect and really understand that, hey, hello, sweetie. It's great to see you. So just like realize that we all are here to learn. We all are here making mistakes, right? So Vismaya, I love the hearts. So the idea is that we want to reflect, like kind of just again figuring out what did we do right, what did we do wrong, and next thing is really really start talking to each other and just bring that time, like not just come and approach from nowhere, right? Like really set the time, be respectful to each other, set the time and say, hey, you know what, whatever happened the other day, let's just sort it through, right? Because if we do not really talk about it, if we do
Right.
not bring it to the table, sooner or later it's gonna start, like really accumulating inside of us, right? And it
Exactly.
negatively impacts the relationship, right? So
Yeah.
the idea is just, like figure out what is the great time that you both can sit down and have the conversation, and just, like prepare to listen to each other. Because a lot of times what happens when people start the conversation, and again one side starts to defend, the other side is also like attacking or something in that nature, right? Like come with that neutral feeling that no matter what's going on during the conversation, you hold yourself, in your hands and in your mind, and not jumping into the words or actions or conclusions, right? Just hear out another person. So keep this, like that space for each other. Hold that space. So if one person is talking, the other is just, like quiet and taking everything in and allowing that person to express exactly what was going on, right? And
Yeah.
then switch the role.
Exactly.
Then switch the places. And after you actually listen to each other, then you can express like your concerns or anything. And it's always better to come up with that ways of communicating, right, properly, not just like, blaming and saying it's always your fault or you
Oh
always
my
do
God.
this,
Yeah.
right? Not from the blame, but rather like, like this, like I really was sad, right? It made me really sad, right? So like that kind of energy would make your partner more in the receiving side, like really open to listen to, like, wait, because they care for you, right? Because their soul loves you, so they would want to know what exactly went wrong, like why, what did they do to make you sad, right? Rather
Yeah.
than, like you made me angry, right? So the approach itself with the words that we are using, with the tone of the voice that we are saying, makes such a big difference. But again, two partners have to be open in order to have that conversation.
Yeah. I mean, understanding that relationships needs work.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yes.
not something that you can overlook. It has to be done. The communication part has to be loving. That's why I said heart to heart. Has If you talk to
Mm-hmm.
the person from your heart to his heart or from her heart, and when you talk to that person from your ego or from your past negative experiences, understand that and know that in your conscious, because it's if you don't, then it's, I mean, that's why there's a lot of miscommunication, there's a lot of divorces, because there is no healthy communication. They're
Mm-hmm.
always, both of them are talking from their past experience and not from this present moment. So be aware of that. That's the key to having a healthy, loving relationship.
Yes, I love what you say. I don't have much to add, but just to reach out to us, because you know what? A lot of times we are growing up without having these knowledge and skills, right? Because it wasn't something that we were learning in schools or the colleges, right?
Or the
That's why
parents,
it's so important. Yes.
or
So that,
parents. Yeah.
yes, that's why it's so important to really educate ourselves in terms of the emotions, in terms of the relationships, in terms of
Yes.
the connections. So the more you become, bless you, the
Thank
more
you
you
so
become aware and educated, the easier it is for you to navigate that life and especially the love, right?
Yeah.
So reach out to us, and we are there to help you and answer any questions that you have. And remember that each time you get into the argument, just stop yourself and think, am I acting from the ego or from my soul?
Exactly.
This is the best question to bring
I love
yourself to
it.
the
Yeah.
awareness. Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us on the
One thing,
episode. Yes, you wanted to say something?
I have a workshop this Saturday, August
What
3rd.
song?
uh, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern. So it's on, I guess it's on my
On the
description
links.
on
Mm-hmm.
the link, and it's on my website under events. So there's a couple of events coming up, but first one is this Saturday, and the second one is Monday. It's a mini workshop on Monday. So yeah, why
All right.
join us?
Awesome. So register, attend, and give yourself lots of love and learn more about yourself and your relationships. Thank you so much and
Thank
see you next
you.
episode. Bye.